Let's see how to add custom recipes to Minecraft in 1.17.1. Let's see how to do that. Alright, we find ourselves back in IntelliJ once more, and in this tutorial we're going to add custom recipes to the game, and this is actually fairly straightforward and it is very similar to the loot tables. We are going to need a new folder inside of our data folder, tutorial mod, right-click new directory called recipes. Very important that this is written correctly, and we're going to implement basically two recipes. One of them is going to be the titanium block to ingots, and then the ingots to the titanium block. The first one is going to be a new file, which is the titanium_block.json. And what's very interesting about the recipe JSONs is that the names here actually do not have to match the name of what you're about to craft, because of course you can have multiple crafting recipes for the same item. Therefore, that actually does not have to match. I'm just going to type this out. So this is going to be of type Minecraft:crafting_shaped. So this is a shaped recipe. And for a shaped recipe, we're going to need a pattern here. And this is basically a list, and usually it is a list of 3 strings. So basically we can write something like this. So there you go. And the length of each string is usually 3. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fill this with hashtags for the time being. And then you should sort of understand what this is. This, of course, represents the crafting grid. So the 3x3 crafting grid. Each of these characters basically can represent a different item. And the way that we can specify what items there are is basically through keys. So we have a key here, then the curly brackets, and then we actually specify the different characters. So this is of course the hashtag here, and then another curly bracket, and then we're going to say, okay, this hashtag here, what does it represent? It represents item, and then we simply specify the item it represents, tutorial mod titanium_ingot. And that's sort of the rough idea here. Of course, we also need, okay, what is actually being crafted? Well, that is a result right here, and that is going to be another item, of course, and that is the tutorial mod titanium_block. And then you could also add a count here. So this would also work, count, and then something like 4, for example. Then I would get 4 titanium blocks. Of course, that's not quite what we want in this case. This is fine like this. And this is a shaped crafting recipe, fairly straightforward. We're going to see a few vanilla examples in just a moment. The second thing that we want to do is we want to take this to the same folder, hold control, so basically duplicate that. And we're going to say titanium_ingot from titanium_block.json. And this is a crazy name, of course, but no worries there. Sometimes when you get the actual names here, IntelliJ might recognize that this is a recipe JSON, and then down here you get this JSON Minecraft recipes instead of having the no JSON schema. This simply gets you some suggestions here. So if I put in crafting, you can see that those are some suggestions here. In this case, this is supposed to be shapeless. You can also turn this on manually by simply clicking on the here and then simply putting in actually a recipe or Minecraft also works. And then you can basically add those templates as well. They are not needed, and I actually don't necessarily recommend this, especially if you don't quite know how the recipes work just yet. Now in the shapeless one, we actually don't have a pattern. We actually have a list of ingredients. So as you can see, I type in IN and then ingredients is already basically being suggested. And here I will have an item, which is going to be tutorial mod titanium_block. And this is going to turn into titanium ingot. And this is going to be count 9. Right, this should be fairly understandable, all things considered. Right now, those 2 recipes are done. Now let's go down to external libraries and then to Net Minecraft Client Extra 1.17.1 in the data folder Minecraft. And then there are the recipes. These are all of the vanilla recipes you could ever hope to find. So if you don't know how something works, you can simply go in here, take a look at that. So for example, some people were like, well, how can I make it so that my axe gets crafted how I want that? Because people, then try it, and then it's like, well, you can craft the axe on the left side or the right side. How does that work? Well, as you can see, you can simply take a look at the diamond axe recipe here, and this is how it's done. As you can see here, the strings here actually don't have to be of length 3. They can also be shorter. They just can't be longer. And this way then basically makes it so that you can craft it in both ways. This is also an example of seeing how you can add multiple items here in the key. And this is really just going through and taking a look at what things there are. So there's a lot of examples here actually that you can basically find. So for example, here are copper ingots. You can get them by blasting the copper ore. And as you can see, this would then require blasting. You can also say, hey, how much experience are you getting and how much cook time does this have? So this is really the best way of finding out how to actually do some things just take a look at the vanilla JSON files, be it for the recipes, the loot tables, or for anything else. Always the great idea going to the external libraries and down to Net Minecraft Client Extra 1.17.1, and you will find basically everything that you really need. Right, and with that out of the way, let's see if it works. All right, we find ourselves in Minecraft, and let's see. So if I put the titanium block in there, you can see I get titanium ingots. And now if I fill the crafting grid with titanium ingots, I also get back the titanium block. The recipes, by the way, are automatically added to the recipe book here, so no worries there. This is done completely automatically, and that's actually how easy it can be to add custom recipes to Minecraft. Right, like always, the JSON files are available in the description below, either in the GitHub repository or in individual gists. But that would be it for this tutorial right here. I hope you found this useful and you learned something new, and I will see you in the next tutorial. So yeah.